Hey guys, what is going on? Anthony with Pistons Talk. I was reading an article over on the Detroit Free Press and I wanted to talk to you guys about it. It's why the Detroit Pistons might look to the New Zealand Memphis for a steal in the draft. If you haven't guessed it already, it is RJ Hampton. He decided to go play overseas in New Zealand this year. And, he's a guy that a lot of people aren't talking about. And I think the main reason why, Pistons fans and other people, the media, aren't talking about him is he didn't really have the best season in New Zealand. The Free Press points out that a year ago, Hampton was widely considered a potential top 5 draft pick. He's now widely projected to go somewhere in the early to late teens, following an uneven season that showcased his innate athleticism and feel that made him a highly recruited player, but also highlighted the areas he does need to improve in. And I think he did underperform over New Zealand. He's a guy that, I thought was actually going to go to the University of Memphis with Penny Hardaway and Mike Miller. And, that would have been a really scary team, man. RJ Hampton and James Wiseman on the same roster. Whew, man. But, speaking of Penny Hardaway and Mike Miller, those are two guys he's been working out with. You guys probably know Penny Hardaway from his Orlando Magic days. And Mike Miller played on those, LeBron James, Miami Heat teams. So the fact that he's working with a star player like Penny Hardaway, to help him to continue to develop his game. And, working with a guy like a sharpshooter like Mike Miller, that's one area of improvement I think he does need to work on is that three-point shot. And Mike Miller raved about this guy, raved about his shooting. He said this guy could probably be a 30, maybe a 40% three-point shooter in the NBA. And that's saying something. He only did about 28% over New Zealand. And that would be a huge jump, in my opinion, from going from a high 20s to a, mid 30s to a 40% three-point shooter in the NBA. I could see why the Free Press thinks he could be a steal in the draft. The Free Press goes on to say that the Detroit Pistons had the 7th overall pick in this year's draft and have made it clear they're going to select the best player available. And Hampton, to me, at 7 would not be the best player available. He'll still be on the board. But they go on to say, with several teams reportedly willing to trade their picks, it's also possible that the Pistons could move down and acquire an additional first-round pick. And that is something we have talked about on this channel quite a lot over the past month is, the Pistons could look to trade one of their veterans, for an additional first-round pick. We've talked about the Boston Celtics, who have 3 first-round picks. The Brooklyn Nets probably, they don't want another rookie on their hands. They're in a win-now situation. Portland Trailblazers, I don't really know if they want to keep their first-round pick. And, all those teams that I've mentioned, Boston's 14th, Brooklyn's 19th, and Portland's 16th. Those are all in the teens. And that's where the Detroit Free Press is hearing where RJ Hampton could potentially land with an NBA team. Do I think the Pistons would trade down for RJ Hampton? If they're high on him as a prospect, absolutely. I think this draft is going to have a lot of guys that we're going to be surprised of where they get drafted at because of COVID, because there was no March Madness, because scouts didn't get to spend as much time, overseas scouting these players. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you think the Detroit Pistons should trade down and gamble on a guy like RJ Hampton with an additional first-round draft pick, acquire via trade? Let me know down below in the comment section. Like always, I hope you guys are staying safe. Take care, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.